Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to do shorter videos. I'm going to do modeling videos now, okay? So I'm going to spend more time modeling. Now, Sassy Gran Doris, I think that's what her YouTube channel is. She has 100,000 subscribers, and she's a grandmother, 96 years old. Crazy, crazy good look for her age. I mean, I don't consider her that good looking, because my dad would have been better looking if he lived that long. But she's a good-looking girl for her age. She's 96, and the mother of the family is 75, and the mother looks like a supermodel. She is so gorgeous. You're just like, oh my God. Um, and they have 100,000 subscribers, which I don't consider to be a lot, but they're doing way better than I am. But I don't consider that a lot. But I think it's like really cool. And I mean, with those two, with the grandmother, the grandmother is very kind of like, you know, whether you love her or hate her, the Holsters family, you're gonna think it's just the cutest thing that they're doing this, because they are so, like, so young at heart, and so, like the grandmother wears fake lashes. I mean, how can you hate that, right? Like, you're just like, oh my God. Um, but like, for me, I like to do, and the thing about them is they're gorgeous, right? Like, they're not, the grandmother's not like super gorgeous, but she's 96, so it's pretty good for her age. But when you see people that are really gorgeous and they have a channel, a lot of times they do very, very well. It's not necessarily true. It doesn't mean that you can't be gorgeous and have a channel. A lot of people that are not like super gorgeous that have channels are famous. So, you don't have to be like the most stunning person ever to be famous on YouTube with a channel if you're not gorgeous. But it really does help. I mean, I think if the mother and the grandmother weren't like them the way they are, looks wise, they would have way less of a following. They're very good looking. They're very, like, especially the mother. I'm like, oh my God, that mother. She's 75 years old. Honestly, she looks 40. Maybe even younger. She almost looks 30. I was like shocked to know her age. I was like, oh my God, she looks so young and beautiful. I'm like, this is crazy. How does she look so good? But I'm gonna look like that too when I get that age. But it does help. And I think if you're someone that watching my channel and you're gorgeous too, you'll recognize that it does help for you too. And I think the more you embrace, what you can do with that, the more you feel good, about what you offer. I mean, for me, I think it's really kind of like, it's obvious I'm gonna go viral, but I don't know. I mean, I'm just kind of like, I really think that it's important that you appreciate it, obviously. But I mean, the thing is, I mean, we all live in a world now. It's super competitive. People are very competitive. People live for themselves. It's really great. I love when you see someone that's selfless and giving to other people, and really nice. I love that too. When you see people that are giving and kind, it's really nice. I love that. I find that that's really rare, but people do. People are like that, and you love people like that. But the world has gotten so competitive now, and people are just so like into getting what they want. They almost don't care about anyone. But then you see the opposite spectrum of people that are going through major hardships and really difficult times, and then people are very kind to them and help them out. That's really great to see. It's really kind of great to see. I think people are very competitive with me in general because I'm very good looking, so they don't feel they measure up. I'm guessing. I mean, that's what I think. Because people are very, I find people are very like, you know, I'm very good looking, but I find people are very kind of like, oh, I think people are always into me, and so they just don't know how to react to me. That's what I'm thinking. People are just a lot of people act very strange around me, but I mean, it's getting better. I find people are not so bad now because I just ignore them and just let them be on their own and do their own thing. So I guess I'm not sure if people are, and it's about my looks. I've always had people be kind of like, around me, people were always kind of like different around me because they always felt that I was very good looking. And the funny thing is, I don't do anything to do that, right? Like I obviously work out hard and I do a lot of things to stay good looking, but it's not like I'm doing anything uh, other than that, you know. And I mean, when you do that, you automatically, I think people are very kind of, they want to revolt or they want to rebel or they want to feel like, hey, you know, you think you're so great, a lot of people. And I'm, you know, and I'm not like that, but people are just very like that. It's like, some people really can't be, I mean, I'm sure some of you guys are good looking, so I'm sure some of you guys know. Some people can't really be around good looking people because they just get jealous and they can't help it. And so, you know, you're just like, well, you know, don't be jealous. I'm not doing anything. I looked this one girl today. She was so mean to me. I wasn't even saying anything to her. I was doing my own thing, and she was just so mean. I'm like, just, I mean, I'm not saying anything to you. Like, just do your thing. Like, just, just work. Like, she was at work and she was a cashier, and I'm like, just work. Like, I went to the self checkout. Like, I wasn't even involving her, and she just has this nasty attitude. And I'm like, how are you gonna keep your job? I don't complain. I think if people are bad customer service reps, I'm not gonna be upset with them. I have too much things going on. I can't be like that. But you're just like, you're like, well, why don't you, you know, you can't be like that because if you have the wrong customer, they're gonna complain and you're gonna get fired. Like, especially if it's like your only job and you're just like I don't care how long you've been as a customer service rep, and that's all you've been able to do. You know, you have to treat people well, and I understand to some extent because I've been a customer service rep, and I've had, you know, you get your bosses who treat you badly. You don't get paid a lot, not necessarily, but sometimes you do. You don't get paid a lot, and then you have customers that just say things to you, and you just like, and a lot of customers don't care how they treat you because you're behind a cash register at a store, and you're just a cash register, so or you're just a cashier, so they don't treat you well, and you're just like, you know, you're just like, I understand that can be nerve wracking, not nerve wracking, but that can be upsetting, you know. You might have expected more from yourself, or maybe you've got a lot of bills to pay or whatever, but like to be purposely rude, going out of your way when the person's not even paying attention to you, and they're just going to to the self self checkout. You know, why would you do that? I just think like if you deal with the wrong person, they're gonna complain and you're gonna get fired. And if that's your living, that's all you have to show for your talents, and you've only done that, and maybe you don't have an education, maybe you don't have another job lined up, and you have a family and you already have hardly any money, then why would you do that? I just don't get it. Like, I never complain really. I mean, I'm the type of person that's like, even if someone says something real, I had one customer service rep. I would go to the washroom, use the key to go to the washroom, and they just throw the key at me like every time. They just throw it, and they don't even smile or say anything. And like for me, I don't mind because I'm not worried about customer service reps. You know, like I'm too busy. I don't have time. You know, I don't care. But you're just like, aren't you worried about losing your job? Like, if you did that to someone that was like a person that felt you should treat them really well, and you didn't. Like some people are so like powerful. They have all this money, and they purposely like if you don't treat them well, they purposely like, you know, get you fired because they're like they think it's funny because they're like, you did this to me, and you're a cashier, and I'm gonna, for the hell of it, I'm gonna get you fired because I'm a big shot and you're nobody. You know, that might be what their mentality is, and people really will do that. You know, and you're just like, you're like, well, wouldn't you think twice about doing that? Like, I mean, I'm a nobody right now, but what if I was a celebrity and I chose to complain, you know? I'm not going to, you know, I understand. It's not the easiest job. Some people really are miserable. I understand. I feel bad for them. I'm not miserable, so for me, I can't relate. So I know that it must be tough for them, but you're just like okay, like aren't you worried about losing your job? Like, you know, like what if you get the wrong person in here and they complain, you know? Like it just doesn't make any sense. Anyway, thank you. Bye now.